It has been fucking 9 long months with nothing to talk about except a projected depth chart and what could happen in the season. We've all been waiting, and we're finally back. How good does it feel to be back in football season?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Let's go, dude.
We got him. And I wish we would have had more week 0 football. That's my biggest takeaway from the weekend is that a lot of the games weren't great quality, didn't have a whole lot of meaning, but
They were better than I expected. Like usually week 0 gives you the worst football of all time. Like you remember that I think it was Miami and Florida game like 4 years ago. Maybe the worst game of football I ever sat through. It was like Felipe Franks and God knows who was starting for Miami, but yeah, it was actually pretty good.
I mean, the Georgia Tech game got us started off pretty hot on the day, and then after that, it was just kind of like, all right, what do we do here? Where do we go from here?
To be fair, we both fell asleep in the middle of the Montana State game.
Yeah, as is tradition.
That 4 o'clock window is never kind to us, but dude, that Georgia Tech game was actually really good. Like, sorry, I'm eating dinner right now. I shouldn't be doing this. I put this to the side. Georgia Tech was mashing Florida State on the lines. Like, I think I have some takes to go back and like rescind about Florida State. Like, clearly their transfers weren't clicking. Their defense fucking sucked. They got gashed for like 6 yards of carry. Like Haynes King had like 15 total. I think he had like 10 completions total. They were running all day over him, and then DJ looked like a 2-pack of ass. He was awful. There's a reason he's in his 5th year of college football. I think we got to start looking out for that one. I don't know. I think I might have to go back through our ACC preview. I want to say I might have called this happening just because the Georgia Tech offense had so much, and their defense actually looked really good against Florida State. Like Florida State O-line was not having a great time in that game. It just seems that the team that won 13 games last year and lost everybody is taking a step back, as we might have predicted.
Revenge tour is off for Florida State.
They haven't won a game in nearly a year. What are they doing? Okay. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we were watching the game. We were both saying, before things went south for Florida State, we were kind of like, man, DJ, I don't know. He kind of looks good in Florida State colors. And then I think immediately after we said that, everything went downhill for them. They were still fighting, but it didn't look great.
Those scripted plays really got us. They really got us.
Every time.
Also, I have some SMU takes to go back and like delete from the internet because they looked bad against Nevada. It was I don't know if you stayed up for the end of the game, but I was just sitting on my couch watching it. They got totally bailed out by their tight end, RJ Maryland, who's like really good, but you can't be winning by 2 points against Nevada.
I was up. I was watching. I had the over.
That did not hit, did it?
Did not. If Nevada would have had any type of life on that last drive, we might have had a shot, but.
Did you end up doubling down on Montana State at all?
Yes,
during that game?
did.
Okay,
yes,
all right.
I did.
Yeah, you got them at like when they were down. That was also another crazy game. The fumble luck in that game, a 14-point swing on two scoop and scores. You never see that, and that team loses is fucking crazy for New Mexico.
Yeah, it was peak week 0 football. Right there.
Oh yeah, it was some bad sloppy football. We've been riffing about week 0 for like 4 minutes. I think we should introduce ourselves.
First down, goes to the sidelines, has a man wide
It reminds me of last year in the Garden against St. John. And guys just stepped up. Blake hits a what the hell 3. You know, we're like, what are you doing? And he's done that all year.
Klicka out to Bizzario. It's over. The Pitt Panthers have upset Wisconsin. Anybody be Pitt's field goal. Up and got it! Sauls does it again!
Hey everyone, thanks for listening in. This is Simplify Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Kaminsky. Who's the person whose sultry voice you've been hearing opposite me is my co-host Mason Kling. Mason, welcome to week 1. We're back in football season. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling better than Florida State fans, who are last place in the ACC. We're going to keep that bit going for, I guess, I don't know how long it is until they play another ACC game, but we'll run that one into the ground.
We'll get to that because I think I have something. They do have another ACC game this weekend. I do want to say, for a team that spent the whole offseason talking about how they were too good for the conference, immediately shitting their pants and losing to the nerd school is probably the funniest thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah, it was not how I think anybody really thought. They were like they were double-digit favorites. I thought it might be a little closer than that, but I really didn't have Georgia Tech winning outright, and looks good for their season total, I'm sure.
I think I got to go back and figure out if I had called this. I'm probably going to put the audio right here if I'd said something in our ACC previews, but maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll be lazy. I'm just sort of looking into the crystal ball here. That week 1 game in Ireland, if Georgia Tech's up for it, if they're up for it and Florida State's still getting things ready in a week 0 game, that is a week 0 overreaction. Just sort of visualizing it right now, but
could see it.
I could see it. Now, we are joined by our other co-host. Now, as it is Kent State Hate Week, my other co-host has decided to change his name, and I'm going to let him introduce himself here. So, please, the floor is yours, Mr. Vanderwood.
Hey guys, it's Orr Vanderwood this week in honor of Pitt's depth chart that was released earlier this week. Big week for the Wars.
Yeah,
you know, college football is back when Pat Narduzzi is starting a quarterback controversy week 1.
It's been a quarterback controversy for like 8 months, and he's like, I'm going back for a little bit more. I just need a little bit more controversy. Now get this. This is sort of a verbal meme. You know the band The Doors? What if they were the Oars?
They'd have a spot on the Pitt football team. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, who is their singer? Was it Morrison? It was Jim Morrison, right?
That sounds right, but I promise I'm not your guy when it comes to music. So
I'm gonna hold up because this is a good bit if I'm right here. Yeah, okay. So Jim Morrison, lead singer of the Doors. How about Jimmy Morrissey, captain of the Oars?
All right.
We're kind of beating around the bush here. I think we should get right into the depth chart. Do we start at quarterback, the biggest oar of them all?
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard, if you're living under a rock, Pitt released their week 1 depth chart yesterday with a very striking oar. Now, as we've gotten sort of hinted at here, Pat Narduzzi is no stranger to an oar on a depth chart. You know, there's a lot of rotation guys, so it's not uncommon. But QB1, Nate Yarnell or Eli Holstein. Just to open the floor, how are you guys feeling about so what he said is that they're going to decide the starter in this week of practice. One of them will obviously start the game, and we're going to see both of them in the game. How are you guys feeling about this?
I'm just wondering maybe you can tell me if he clarified this at all, Zach, but like, what is their playing time going to look like? Are they going to do like a drive for drive thing? Is it going to be somebody gets a start, somebody gets a second quarter? Like, is somebody actually going to start, and then we're just planning on beating Kent State so bad that that one of the others is going to play? Like,
so the only clarification that he's given is that they're both going to get playing time. He has not indicated any sort of like split in reps, whether it's drive for drive, which if they're going to do it like this, I'd probably rather see them go quarters instead of halves, because in a game like Kent, you're probably going to be starting your twos fairly early into the third quarter. We'll get into it, but they're a very desolate team. Like I said, I would hope they would do first quarter, second quarter. Drives, I think, would be a bad way to settle it. Yeah, they haven't given any information besides they're both going to play, and the person who gets the first snap will be the better of the two in this week of practice. And they are keeping news out of that facility shut like a fucking bank vault.
Well, the optimist in me is excited to watch them both.
Cinema.
I'm going to push back. I don't think that a QB controversy week 1 is cinema. I hate it.
Yeah, frankly, I'm not a fan of it. I feel like at this point,
I hit the hand button on accident. You can. How do I stop the fucking hand button?
I was like, "What is this? What is this?"
Because I saw the fucking hand. It was like jumping all up. Like, I got something to say.
I really wanted me to stop there.
No, please go back to your take. Maybe I'll make that the fucking cold open.
No, yeah, generally not a fan of it. You've had months to figure this out. We're coming into a week, 5 days until game time, and you still haven't made a pick. I feel like you've seen enough to know. We'll see.
It's like not even like he's trying to do some chess match thing. Like we're playing somebody good to open up. Like name a starter. It's Kent State. It's not like we're trying to bluff anybody out. Like we're playing West Virginia week 1 or something like that. Like it's a tune-up game. Just
yeah, I'm of the same opinion. And like the word is that while they said that Nate is at a good fall camp, Eli caught up. So basically saying that they've got two guys on similar standing. The way I don't like this is that I think it's just you're playing with confidence with a guy who only has 3 starts under his belt in a way that I don't think you should be. He's been the starter. He was named the starter in like January. You were confident in him through the spring game, and then at the very last moment, you're pulling the rug out from under him. And I really, really don't like that. I think that there's going to be this added level of pressure when he plays, and like that's just not good. Because if he makes like that can lead to a spiral. Honestly, I would have preferred it if, say, honest to God, even if Pat thought Eli was going to be his starter moving forward, which it might be the case. The last time we saw him in the spring, they've told us multiple times, he was working through an injury. Even if you think Eli's going to be your starter, fucking commit to it right now. So Yarnell has an expectation, or honestly, just play them both anyway and give Nate the starting nod because he stuck with the program the whole offseason. Like, it's getting too cute. You're just getting too cute. You could have just said, hey, we're going to play both guys, but, we're going to give the start to our 4-year guy who's been with the program the whole time.
It's that easy. You're 100% right. He just got too cute.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be my feelings on it as well. So if you're Nate, you're not happy about it after, like you said, them basically putting full confidence in you out to the media the whole spring, only to turn it into the week of the first game. So
it feels like circus shit. Like, as a fucking lifelong Jets fan, I know a fucking circus when I see one. This is like getting there. Now, to be fair, there are a lot of oars when it comes to quarterbacks in the ACC. We're not alone in this, but I really would have preferred if you just would have committed to one guy already, or just rewarded Nate. If he plays bad, you start Eli next week. Who cares? But honestly, from all the reporting we've heard, they do seem to be on like equal footing. I still, if I had to give my takeout today, I still think that Nate ends up winning it. To be fair, I haven't seen Eli in this offense or since he came back from his injury, but overall, yeah, I am excited to see both of these guys play and see what we have with the two guys who could lead this team this fall. Running through the rest of the offense, there are not a ton of surprises. Unless you guys have anything else on the big or at quarterback. All right, yeah. So running back, I think we predicted this. It's our second or, Ronnie Hammond or Desmond Reed. I think we could have seen this. Thunder and Lightning. The first backup is Derek Davis, which I am pleasantly surprised to see. I think he could bring an aspect of power running to the team that I don't think either of the other two bring. Wide receiver, we were talking about this with Steven, but sort of a top four: Kenny Johnson, Dejon Reynolds, Poppy Williams, and Connor Mumfield. Not too many surprises with those starters. The fifth guy they've got is redshirt freshman Lamar Seymour, which personally I find surprising, but I think he has the talent to play. He showed a lot in the spring game. There's a lot of highlights of him from fall camp. Tight end, guess what? It's Gavin Bartholomew. Not a huge surprise, I would say. Getting some nods, okay. Podcasting is a visual medium. And then the O-line, I'm happy to say they did the right O-line combination. Left to right, Branson Taylor, Ryan Jacoby, Lyndon Cooper at center, BJ Williams at right guard, had a fantastic end of the year last year, and Ryan Baer at right tackle. We're free from Jason Collier. I am so happy. My enemy has been vanquished.
Sounds like some boys that are ready to beat Kent State.
It is going to be interesting. Someone brought this up. Obviously, Ryan Jacoby hasn't played in like 2 years. He's coming off injury. Obviously, he's the best left guard they have, though. I do want to see how they kind of transition from like a pro scheme to like this spread, fast-paced offense. Going to be something to watch. Maybe have some gassed O-linemen in the first game of the year. It's probably going to be hot. I don't have the weather pulled up in front of me. All right, moving to defense. I actually think I think we got the top four at the end, right? Nate Matlack and Jimmy Scott are the starters, with Sincere Edwards, true freshman, battling Maverick Gracio on one side, and then Chief Borders, the transfer from Nebraska, on the other. Super happy with that. At D tackle, Sean Fitzsimmons is currently out. He's injured, so he's not accounted for in this depth chart, but you've got basically 5 guys playing for the 3 spots when he comes back. You've got Nakai Johnson, Francis Braywood, another true freshman, Anthony Johnson, Nick James, Isaiah Neal. So, pretty confident in that group. The linebackers, we've kind of been mentioning him, but Kyle Lewis won the star job. I think he's going to be really good with Jordan Bass backing him up. Brandon George, one of the captains, wins the Mike linebacker. And then you've got Braylon Lovelace, the local kid, and Rasheem Biles splitting time and money. Both of those guys, true sophomores, they are really fucking good at playing linebacker. Safeties, we kind of knew this. It's Donovan, Javon, Philip O'Brien, and then Cruz Brookins, the redshirt freshman, rotating in for that 4th safety spot. And then your starting corners are Rylan Gandy, Taman Lynham, and Rashad Battle. Honestly, based on our preview with Steven a couple weeks ago, not too many surprises, right?
No, yeah, I would say, not really any, right?
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, there's no surprises when it's or. When you get 2 options for each spot.
Well, I'll say outside of like quarterback, I think it's pretty fair because like traditionally, like Pitt's going to rotate their running backs. They're going to rotate Kenny and Dejon at wide receiver. They're going to rotate their D linemen. They're going to rotate the safeties like they did all of last year. I think for those positions, it's actually pretty fair. It's like you're going to see all these guys get playing time. It's just the quarterback, man. You just can't put the or at quarterback. It's so stupid. I'm super excited to see the true freshmen playing on the D-line. They were super hyped during camp. Braywood looks like a monster. I want to see how they play in their first competition against FBS opponents. Do you have any opinions on players changing their number? We had some late fall camp number changes. I don't know if you've seen these yet.
I'll be 100% honest. It's going to take me a couple weeks to relearn everybody's number anyway. So go ahead, change them. Keep me on my toes. I don't have any qualms.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, I'll hit you with some significant ones. Let me pull these up here. And just give me, let's say, what do you rate the number change out of 10? Right.
Okay.
All right.
Why did I do this to myself? Okay. First up, Desmond Reed at running back going from 20 to 0.
Tough.
That's cool.
That's a
cool.
9.
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
9.
20,
All right.
20's not a bad running back number, but 0 out there.
Okay.
I like that.
At wide receiver, Poppy Williams going from 22 to 5.
That's a good change. 22 as wide receiver. That's odd.
That's
especially
a cornerback.
as supposed to be a breakout guy this year. Can't be wearing 22 out there.
That's another. He upgraded. He upgraded.
Okay. I'll give it. I think 5 looks better on a little guy. I think 1 digit for a little guy looks better than double digits. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I'm getting a thumbs up. All right.
But it's like
he'll
5 is still better than 22 for a receiver, even if he's a big guy.
Yeah,
all right.
he'll look faster.
He'll look faster in 5 than 22. That's 100% right. Okay. On defense, Nate Matlack goes from 98 to 2.
So
I'm seeing the gears turning here.
I think 98, one of the better D lineman numbers. Don't they like sometimes reserve some of those lower numbers for like the I don't want to say more important players, but kind of like the guys who
want them or something?
Might have like a bigger impact on the game. I don't know. That might not be a thing that Pitt does. I know some schools do that. Like it's kind of like to have a top 5 number, you kind of have to like earn it.
Oh, like there are certain schools where like they give like 11 or something to like the hardest worker or whatever, like their best defensive player or something like that.
Right. Like because you don't typically see a whole lot of D linemen wearing 2, but
it's like fine, I guess. But 98 is a good D lineman number already. I give this a 4 out of 10.
If you're wearing 2 as a D lineman, you better be a stud. So as long as he's a stud, we're good.
It'll right now. I'm not sold on it. If he's really good, that 2 is going to make him look real mean.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
if you mean single digit DNs are some of the most terrifying players on the field. If you're just okay, it's a little goofy. I'll say.
We're all in agreement there.
I will say, if Pitt were to do like this player earned the number, they don't really do it because they retire a lot of their numbers. They would give 97 to the best D lineman for Aaron Donald, but they're never going to unretire that number.
Yeah. Maybe if they got his blessing and he came back as a D-line coach.
You'd have to do that. Okay. Next one. D tackle Nick James goes from 96 to 11.
Gross. I hate that. That one's the worst yet. 2 out of 10.
Dude, if I was a D lineman, I would take a pride in like, I know 96 isn't flashy. It's not, it's not cool, but it's got some grit to it, and that's what you want from your fucking D tackle, and embrace that shit.
I'm with it. You're a big guy, wear a big number. That's just my take, though. If it was single digit, I might be more open to it, but a D lineman wearing 11 does not sit well with me.
Yeah.
We also had 2 of the transfer DNs. Chief Borders changed to 14. David Ojigbe changed to 17. I believe they're both wearing like numbers in the 40s. I think the teens are pretty good for DNs. I think we can work with that.
14's goated number. So
I wonder why you think that. Also at linebacker, we had a couple changes. Kyle Lewis goes from 38 to 9. I like this one.
It seems like more people are just trying to like let's just get low numbers going here. Kids these days and their low numbers.
Well, get ready for another one because Braylon Lovelace went from 35 to 0.
2 agent zeros in the pack now. I mean, zero
Welcome
is
back, Johnny Patrician.
zero. I can't blame anybody for wanting to go to number 0. That's pretty sick. I like it. He's probably going to be a stud too. So
You're
again,
rocking with it.
it's one of those things where it's like if you're going to wear 0, you have to be good.
We also think he's going to be good, so I approve.
Yeah, you can't be a no name out there just wearing 0, missing tackles.
That's fair. All right. Last I'm going to hit you with. Safety Cruz Brookins goes from 34 to 12.
What's up with this? What's up with the What's up with the less than 15, less than 20?
Yeah, did anybody change to a jersey number over 15?
Wait, I do have an answer for this. Give me like 1 second here.
Yeah, did anybody's jersey number go up?
Okay, so we do have a change to a jersey number over 15. We have, okay. One of them is Jasir Whittington, the freshman D tackle, who's going from 40 to 25, his high school number.
Okay.
And then there is one player whose jersey number went up. That would be cornerback Tamarian Crumpley. And the reason they had to change it is because both him and the other starting corner wore 15 for 4 years.
So what? He went 15 to 16. Like
He went 15 to 18.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good number. That's a good number. I like that number.
That's a good corner number. How do you feel about 8 as a corner number? That's another change we had. He went from 25 to 8.
That is weird to me because whenever I think of 8, I just think of Kenny Pickett. And
I'll never not think of Kenny. So
how quickly they forget about Kalijah Kancey.
No, and I was going to say Kalijah Kancey is the other one. So 2 very non-corners.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much all I got for the roster. Time to talk about the game.
Let's go.
All right. So, in terms of what Kent State is a very bad team. They went 1-11 last year. Second year coach. Last year was a year 0 for them. Sean Lewis left for the Colorado OC job, and there was nothing there. There's still not a lot. They do have sort of a tailback tandem with so they do have this running back who I think a lot of Pitt fans will like because his name is Gavin Garcia, white running back, right? I think. Let me fact check myself on that. That would be really bad to be wrong about. Okay, yeah, white running back, state champion wrestler in Pennsylvania. So just a name to know because I feel like that will tickle Pitt fans' fancy. They do have They have what I would say is like a standout receiver. He's a slot guy, though. He's 5'10", 163. That would be... I'm so sorry, guys. I can't find this guy's name.
Or?
His name is not Orr. I believe it's Jamil Gardner. He's really good, but he's really tiny. So the offense does have some playmakers. They don't have a great situation at quarterback. They've basically got nothing on defense. They're coming here to get body bagged. That's what you get Kent State for. Honestly, there's not much to talk about in terms of matchups just because no one's played any football yet and it's a bye game. What do you guys want to see from the team in their first outing in 2024?
No bounce passes. That's my first one. I don't want to see any bounce passes this year. Let's get that off to a hot start this week with a good number 0 there in that category. From 2 quarterbacks, that would be nice to see. Mason, go ahead with your first one.
I was just going to say, I was looking at some bets earlier today, and just to echo what you said earlier, Zach, Kent State's pretty bad. They have the worst odds to win the MAC. which coming off a 111 year, I think makes sense. So I would like us, look, we schedule tune-up games for a reason. I would like it to be a true tune-up game. I've got a number in my head. I want to ask you guys how many points, like we have the new look offense, right? How many points would be a win, would make you guys happy going into week 2?
That's a pretty good question because I kind of want to balance like it's week 1 and like there's going to be some glitches with it's fucking Kent State, like, and like showing it has to work. A good number that would shut me up is 40. I think I'd be pretty happy with 40. High 30s, I'd be pretty like I'd be like get close enough. I think like under 30, I would start to feel uncomfortable about this game. I'd still be able to write it off my head as like week 1 jitters, but I could talk myself into it. If you're in the 30s, I want you to be in the 40s. I want you to score a lot of points.
Okay. Kent?
Give me the 50 burger.
That's what I'm saying, Kent. I'm hungry for a burger this week, man.
Yeah, give me the freaking 50 burger, man. Let's play fast, score faster this week.
That would give us a full on we're gonna overreact. That's like an overreact to this type of showcase. But I'm all for that. Let's do it. That would be.
Listen, I'm ready to overreact in week 1.
Yeah. No, I'd be happy if they put up 42 somewhere at like something like that. Yeah, of course. But I think the pie in the sky is a burger.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think I've got a couple things in mind. I would like to simply ask that the first drive is not a 3 and out. I think that is ask number 1. If you start out with a 3 and out, the Twitter posts are coming. There's going to be some very, very mean things said, or not even mean things, just like a lot of here we go again posts. I just don't want to see those. So score on the first drive. That is something I really want to see. And then I really want them to harass the Kent State quarterbacks. Last year, the D-line got pushed around a lot. I want them to be not headhunting because that's bad, but headhunting.
Aggressive.
I just want them getting sacks, man. They didn't get any sacks last year.
Yeah.
I want to see sacks. Pause.
Yeah.
No Diddy.
Another thing I would like to see some completed passes downfield, like 20 plus yards in the air. Like, we didn't really
put a number on that. How many you want to see?
Any passes that fell through over 5 to 10 yards in the air were picked off. Like, or 15 yards short of the receiver and just hit the ground. Like, here.
So give me a number, Ken. How many deep passes do you want to see?
If we could get 3 completions, 3 plus, that's conservative. But if we could get 3 plus completions of 20 plus yards in the air, I would like that.
One of them has to be to Gavin.
You read my mind because I want to see Gavin with like 8 to 10 targets.
That would be nice.
Because I think that he paid Pitt back. He came back for his senior year. He deserves to be rewarded for coming back to this team, trusting a new offense, trusting a new quarterback. You need to reward him with just not forcing the ball to him, but you need to get him his targets because you know what he can do, and he is your fucking star player. Use him. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, force some turnovers. We talked about sacks. Let's force some turnovers. Let's beat them by 70. So I can get my name back and we can move on.
That's right. Pitt football, if you lose, our friend Orr here will be legally changing his name moving forward, and he's going to have to introduce himself as Orr Vanderwood and not like the piece of wood. Came up with that on the spot. How you like that?
This is news to me.
Zach made a deal with the devil for you, Kent. Similar to what Kent, I guess, kind of what all of us have been talking about. How about at very least a cover? We're 24.5-point favorites against these guys. I think that's very manageable, regardless of all those other goals that we have. I think that's a very gettable line for the Panthers.
So I will say, like, I've been looking around like the sort of advanced metrics. Like, there's one that this guy Stats of War on Twitter does. There's Bill Connolly's SP Plus, and they all sort of have their own inputs and whatever, and they all have us winning at about that. What was it, 24-point line? They had us winning by like 23, 22, and something, if you've noticed, if you follow the advanced stats, is that the computers do not like Pitt this year. Just because there's not a lot of knowns going in, and like the last couple of years of data are fucking terrible. So you can't really account for like a new offense or anything when you're doing like advanced stats based on team's history, and then a lack of production, especially at quarterback. Even with the computers that are down on Pitt, they still have us in that 22 to like 24-point win range. So I think that's a completely reasonable expectation.
Yeah, I like covering the spread. Alternate line minus 39.5. Let's go for it.
Ken, you're so back.
So back. Yeah, no. We'll see, man. Last year we overreacted after week 1 as well. But we'll see how this goes.
I think that's sort of the mantra for the season. We'll see how this goes. That's kind of the mindset I'm going into it with. Anything else on our game before we talk about the weekend ahead? All right, that's a bunch of no's. Before I forget to, shout out to the Pitt men's soccer team going from unranked to number 3 in the country. Kind of feels like
that is pretty. That is pretty sweet. 2-0 victories.
One of them was against like the number 16 team in the country or something like that.
Including one against the number 16 team in the country. That'll get you to number 3 in NCAA soccer, I guess.
So does this mean we are a football school?
I'm putting you in the timeout cube for that one, bro.
Football school.
I'm so mad at you right now, dude.
I had to.
Anyway, that's so rude because we're a fucking volleyball school and you know it. That's disrespectful. Oh, come on.
The Yankees.
The Yankees lose. Still first place in the division, though, so suck me from the back, Ken. Oh, sorry. Or. Okay. With the week 1 slate, kind of sucks. Am I wrong in thinking this?
Yes and no.
Okay, so just going through the Thursday games, there's a whole lot of nothing until about 8 o'clock, where I see 2 pretty interesting games. That would be UNC at Minnesota on Fox and North Dakota State at Colorado on ESPN. We're going to start with these.
So, it's funny you picked this one first because it's one of the first games of the year. It's one of the first Wouldn't It Be Funny games of the year.
Let's go.
North Dakota State over Colorado.
Dude, what's that? Do you know what that line is? I think it's like within a... Okay, so now it's a 10-point line. It was closer a little while ago. They can do this. Now, I'm hesitant to call it because it's a super popular upset pick. I think a lot of people are reacting to Colorado being annoying online and saying, oh, North Dakota State's going to beat them. This is not the same North Dakota State team that has won like 8 million championships in a row. They are on like their 3rd head coach of like the same tree. The roster is a little bit worse. I mean, listen, they were a really good team last year as well. Don't get me wrong. Colorado upgraded on their lines, which I think they would have completely bum rushed them last year, I think, but I could see it happening. I would laugh personally. I think as Pitt fans, we don't have we don't hold the Buffaloes in the highest esteem, but I'll be driving for this one. I might tune into the radio broadcast. Just a little haters listen.
You don't want to give them the viewership, just the ears.
Yeah, let me watch football and drive, dude.
Well, hey.
Yeah, getting pulled over on I-95 because officer, I was watching the North Dakota State Bison.
You don't get it. It would be funny if they lost.
It would, and he lets me go. The other one, Kent, do you have any thoughts on our beautiful Bison?
No, I think you guys covered it. Definitely the best and first would it be funny of the year. So I think we're all rooting against the Bison.
Yeah, all year.
Yeah.
I think I don't know about you guys, but pretty much all year they've got an enemy in me.
Oh yeah, I want them to go 0-12. They probably won't because they have enough skill talent. I'd love to see it happen. The other game worth mentioning, UNC at Minnesota on Fox, same time. This is a real litmus test for UNC in terms of ACC play. If they stink it up here, if their quarterback sucks, the floor has fallen out for this team. Minnesota is not great. I mean, they have a pretty good defense. It'll be interesting to see how they go against UNC's rebuilt O line and their new quarterback. I have no idea who's starting. I think it's Max Johnson, but that's one to keep an eye on just for ACC play. That's all I've got for Thursday. There's a whole bunch of nothing the rest of the slate.
Yeah, just let the record show for that UNC game. I probably will end up betting it because it's going to be Thursday night and I want to throw some action on. But if you like put a gun to my head and make me pick something in that game, I wouldn't feel good about it either way. I have no idea. It feels like such a weird line of UNC -2. I don't know.
Yeah, are they playing that one at a neutral site? No,
Mm-mm.
no, they're playing it at Minnesota. Okay. Friday, there's only really one game worth talking about. It is the nightcap, TCU at Stanford. It is pretty much the only Power 4 and Power 4 game. I have no thoughts on this one. Just, it's an ACC game. I guess you can watch it.
I was going to say Stanford's first ACC action. Looks like they're at home against,
Do it for the conference. Do it for the conference, baby.
I think they're going to let us down. just to be frank. Okay. Let's move into Saturday, where we do actually have a couple of games to kick us off that at least are interesting to look at. First one up, Clemson at Georgia in the Mercedes in Atlanta. I'm going to be honest. 13.5 points is not enough for Georgia. They are going to whip Clemson. That is my take on this game.
Yeah. I've been hurt by Clemson too many times. Both by getting beat by them and betting on them. They're not going to get a pick of mine this week, I don't think.
I don't know if it's gonna be bad as that Oregon game was a couple years ago where they opened up, but I think they're gonna put Dabo in a pine box.
Yeah, I was looking at these lines earlier today. I was also surprised by the line of this game. I agree. I think Georgia covers fairly easily, especially in Atlanta.
Because it's a neutral site game in Atlanta.
Yeah, quote unquote neutral.
It's gonna be a home game for Georgia. I feel like I don't know. There's just another level to the players they have, and they have a better quarterback. So
yeah, Georgia arguably has the best quarterback in the country, and not Cade Klubnik and actual wide receivers. Even though Georgia doesn't have the best wide receivers in the nation, they're a lot better than what Clemson has.
Yeah.
Next game in this slot, that last game was on ABC. The big noon game on Fox. Number 8 Penn State goes to West Virginia.
So I looked earlier at you know how you can see what percent of the public
takes what side and everything.
Yeah. take a guess what you think where the public is on this one.
Money line or spread?
I don't know. I just said percent of bets. Honestly, I think I was on. I think I was on spread.
For spread, I'm gonna go 60-30 West Virginia. That doesn't add up to 100%. It's 60-40. Sorry.
10% took the tie. Either way, you're pretty far off because 91%, at least on DraftKings, again, this could be 91% of the public was on Penn State in this game. I'm betting against the public. I like
91% on Penn State.
Dude, I like the Penn State spread in this. I can't lie.
Yeah, on this one, I'm gonna I think it would be kind of funny a West Virginia one because Penn State would lose. I wouldn't have to think about the ramifications of that for another 2 weeks because then we'd play a team that beat top 10 Penn State. That would be something down the line. I think Penn State's defense is really fucking good. I guess the biggest mismatch in this would be West Virginia has a pretty senior defensive line. Penn State has a fairly new offensive line, which could give them trouble in this game. But I just don't see the West Virginia offense being able to do much more against the Penn State front seven. Abdul Carter is really good for Penn State. Like he's probably gonna have a fucking day.
You forgot one factor.
Go ahead.
Country roads. I'm just kidding. Now this is turning into me liking West Virginia. That's not the case here. I'm just picking the lesser of two evils. And I think that anytime the public, I don't know. I'm not saying West Virginia's going to win the game. I do think they're going to keep it a little bit closer than some people think. Let me clarify that.
Yeah, the line right now is at 8. I think I like Penn State at 8. I think West Virginia keeps it within 10, I would say. Now here's a little history check for you. How many times since 1960 has West Virginia beaten Penn State? Do you know?
I mean, they probably haven't played a whole lot.
They played basically every year up until 1992, and then they didn't play between 92 and 2023. So that's about 40 something meetings, right? It's like 35-ish meetings.
5 times.
Okay, 5. Kent, do you have a guess?
8 times.
The correct answer is 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't love to go off history, but the best West Virginia teams of the mid 2000s didn't play against Penn State when they were not as great. But I tend to think Penn State wins this one. I would love to see them lose. I think like 7 days a week, I would choose Penn State to lose over West Virginia because I hate them more, just to be honest. It's fun to hate West Virginia. I legitimately hate Penn State.
I also think it would be better for Pitt, if West Virginia's riding high off of a big win and then coming to Pittsburgh, it helps them kind of overlook us a little bit, maybe. So
yeah. I mean, it's of two minds like that. They could definitely be like, oh, we beat them last year. They're no good. At the same time, if they beat Penn State, they might be real. Which is
I forget about that part.
That's sort of the balancing I'm doing in my mind. Is do I want to face a really good West Virginia team? Probably not. I think they're going to be a good team this year. I did my West Virginia preview, and they have a ton of people coming back. I don't know if they're going to be Big Ten contenders. Big Ten, Jesus Christ, Big 12. I hope they're not. I don't want to see them succeed. I like to see them win one game, not succeed in many. But overall, I'm feeling Penn State takes on the road here.
Yeah,
and of course you can just channel flip between this and the Kent State game on ESPNU.
Yeah, we're We have multiple TVs out this weekend.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is a pretty stacked, pretty pretty stacked 12 o'clock slate. Perfect time for like that multi-view or a couple of TVs out, and that feels good.
Yeah, and like if one of those two big games gets out of hand, you've got Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt, and UConn, Maryland as other P4 and P4 action that you can tune into. Moving into like the early afternoon slate, that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock slot. There is one game I'd like to bring up. I think this is an alternative "Wouldn't It Be Funny" game. That would be South Dakota State at Oklahoma State. Number 17 ranked Oklahoma State taking on the defending FCS national champions and presumptive favorites to win the FCS again. I believe they have their FCS equivalent of the Heisman coming back as well at quarterback. Very strong run game, a lot of good tight ends at South Dakota State, mean defense. Oklahoma State might win it just based on having Ollie Gordon, one of the best running backs in college football. But their quarterback is Alan Bowman, who I believe started playing college football in the Obama administration. I'm probably stretching the joke there, but I think it's his like 7th or 8th year or something like that.
This was the other one on my radar for Wouldn't It Be Funny?
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head.
This is one to monitor, I'll say.
Yeah.
Dude, what class was he in? Okay, he's been in college since 2018. That is a tough look. You need to enter the LinkedIn portal, buddy.
Hashtag open to work.
Hashtag open to work. Moving to the 3 o'clock slate. Not a ton here. There is a big game on ABC that is Miami at Florida. Going to be a raucous environment. I think Florida loses big time. I don't think this one's going to be particularly close, but it is probably the best game you'll see in this slot.
Well, if you think Florida's going to win big time, that's a bet you should take, because I mean Miami's the favorite in this game, even in the swamp. So, or wait, sorry, who did you say you thought was going to win?
Miami.
Never mind. Totally disregard what I just said.
I mean, Miami's only a 2.5-point favorite, which I think is a very, very big underselling of the talent difference here and the coaching difference. Well, not the coaching difference, but Miami is such a talented roster, and Florida does not. So, I think that is a smart bet there to take Miami at 2.5, and maybe a little more if you like to get funky with it. The rest of this slate is absolutely garbage. There is fucking nothing. Dude, even the 7 o'clock slate sucks. This is not a good one. Okay, anyway, moving to the 7:30, the evening slate. Probably the biggest game of the weekend, the number one overreaction game of the weekend for sure. That is number 7 Notre Dame at number 20 Texas A&M. This is going to give us the most hot takes per play, advanced metric of the weekend. All these hot takes will be null and void by week 4 because you're overreacting to week 1. This one is probably going to be low scoring and close, but also completely unwatchable.
This is like Catholics versus Baptists. Who's the bigger
Oh
cult?
shit! Yeah.
Who's the bigger cult? But it'll also be a really good football game too, because I feel like in my head these teams are exactly the same, where there's always a lot of hype surrounding them, and they might have a good year, but they're never going to get it done. So one team's going to have a huge leg up coming out of this game. Somebody won't.
Yeah, pretty much. Whoever wins this game, I think, is a real team. Whoever loses this is a fake team, just because it's how my brain works. It's good. It's going to be a good environment. It's going to be a good game to watch. I think it'll be close. Lines at A&M -3 at home, which I don't agree with. I think Notre Dame should be favored on the road. That is weird. You also got UCLA at Hawaii on CBS. I only shout this one out because Hawaii could win that one. That would be pretty funny. Rest of this slate is, again, a whole lot of nothing. The next game, we're just going to move to the Sunday and Monday games. We've got USC at LSU on Sunday. This one is in Las Vegas. I salute all the Las Vegas service workers working this weekend with LSU fans in town. That's going to be a barn burner. I think LSU wins this one fairly comfortably. USC is just not built like them on the lines. I don't know if you have any other input on that one.
This is gonna be like cool color matchup and one that you
For
don't
sure.
see too often. I don't know that you just look and you're like, is this a bowl game? Am I watching like the playoff games or something right now? But I love that they're playing each other. These two fan bases couldn't be more different again. But also Sunday college football. Come on, who can't get into that?
Yeah, I love Labor Day weekend, just all weekend, wall to wall. That is a good way to put it, though. This does have big bowl game energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what bowl game these days is SEC.
Big Ten.
Big Ten. Yeah. See, like, I just totally forgot that USC was Big Ten. Like, I don't know. It just has a lot of weird stuff going around it, but we'll probably see some good offense, which is cool.
Dude, this is the Outback Bowl in the American Outback of Nevada. I just got it, yeah. And then the Monday night game, Boston College just had the chance to do something really, really funny, and that is to beat Florida State for the second time in 2 weeks when they go to Doak Campbell. Do I think they'll do it? Probably not. Would it be really funny? Yes. And also Georgia Tech just did it, so never say never.
FSU's a 15.5-point favorite. That's a similar line to Georgia Tech. That's all I'm saying.
Boston College, another team that can run the ball really well. You sniffing something here?
As long as the Florida State players don't do an Irish jig before the game, they might be all right. But did you see that video?
Do you see the Georgia Tech guys? They obviously found it after the game and then recreated it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Horns down is disrespectful. Doing an Irish jig on them is even more disrespectful.
Do you think that if Texas A&M wins, will they do an Irish jig on the field towards the leaving Notre Dame players?
No, they'll do some weird midnight yell tradition thing that they have to do after every game because they're a cult.
They should do the jig, but you're right.
Make the jig tradition.
Make the jig tradition whenever you beat Notre Dame. Kent, do you have a Christmas game of the week?
I do. I was actually just researching.
So you didn't.
I did not have it prepared, no. But I do.
Bro was doing his homework in the hallway.
But I do have it ready now. During our dead slate, we have a perfect opportunity to watch the Christmas matchup of the week, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. We have Eastern Michigan visiting the Minutemen at UMass. 3-point spread, one of the closest spreads of the entire day. I really hope Jay Feely's on the call. Give us another off the crossbar Eastern Michigan answers. That's what I'm hoping for. That's the Christmas matchup of the week. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. That's a good pick.
Yeah. That one is ESPN Plus exclusive. That's going to have some of the worst camera angles in the world at Massachusetts Stadium or at UMass's stadium at McGurk.
That would be the perfect place for some weird stuff like Jay Feely to go down on the call.
Jay Feely's going down on the what?
weird stuff to go down with Jay Feely on the call. There we go.
It's a threesome?
Anything can happen on Christmas.
We're making Jay Feely Christmas threesome jokes. I think we've reached the end of the podcast here, boys.
Oh yeah, that's the ticket.
Oh yeah. Listen, if you made it through all that, thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter at Simple5Pod. We'll see you next week.
Hail to Pitt.
Beat the Golden Flashes.